Hello guys, I know we all love fluffy, moist and delicious cakes, and most of the times you want to make the best cake ever. You want your cake to be as fluffy as ever, but sometimes you are having challenges getting this perfection. So in this video today, I want to share with you my own simple tips on how you can make your cake fluffy and delicious. You don't need to waste your time on so many things, just simple tips and you're going to get it all right. So relax and enjoy this video till the end, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And my number one tip here is using the right recipe and ingredients. Every cake recipe has its own ingredients and methods of preparation, like vanilla cake, red velvet cake, chocolate cake, angel food cake and the rest. To make the best of any of these cakes, you must use the right and the perfect and complete ingredients as specified. And even if you want to manipulate these recipes, ensure that the key ingredients are not altered. Tip number 2, measure accurately. So the science of cake baking requires measurement. So if you want to have the best results in your cake baking, then you need to imbibe the idea of standard and accurate measurement anytime, any day. That is one of the ways you can get your cake fluffy and delicious. Tip number 3, fluff up or sift your flour. Fluffing up the flour or sifting the flour helps to make the flour airy, like it loosens the air pockets in the flour, it loosens the flour and removes all the lumps in the flour. This will make the flour easy to incorporate with the rest of the ingredients and giving you a stable and fluffy cake. At number 4, make use of cake flour or cake flour substitute. Cake flours are basically light kind of flour with kind of corn flour incorporated in it. It makes it lighter, it has a lighter texture and is easy to incorporate with the rest of the ingredients and helps your cake to fluff up while it bakes. Although you can also bake with your all-purpose flour, but when you try baking with a cake flour and an all-purpose flour, you're going to see the actual differences in both the texture and the all-round outlook of the cake. Tip number 5, use room temperature ingredients. Room temperature ingredients are easy to cream or mix. When you use room temperature ingredients, you are sure of having a homogeneous mixture, like every of the ingredients in your batter will mix in so well, helping you to have an amazing result as your cake. Number 6, do not undermix and or overmix your cake batter. When you undermix your cake batter, the ingredients will not be well incorporated. This may result to a cake that will not give you a good yield. And when you overmix your cake batter, there is every possibility that the cake will lose its strength and the air pockets in the cake will be knocked down, and when you bake such cakes, they can easily go flat or sink in the center. Tip number 7, if your cake recipe requires the use of raising agents, either baking powder or baking soda or even both, make sure you use each or any of these raising agents in the right proportion or in the right amount. If you add any or both of these raising agents in the wrong proportion or amount, there are things that might happen. One, the cake might change taste, like it may affect the taste of the cake. And also, if you put it less, the cake may not have a good volume, and if you put them more, the cake will overrise and it can pop out in the pan, or it can even be too crumbly and can't be handled. The cake can flake or break out easily. Tip number 8, you may have to add your eggs one at a time. When you add your eggs one at a time, the butter fat mixture or the buttercream will be able to absorb each egg and thereby creating a nice suspension in the batter, giving you a good and awesome mixture. Tip number 9, if your recipe requires folding in egg whites, ensure to do this in the proper way. Okay, do not overfold these egg whites, do not also underfold these egg whites, and make sure you don't fold in these egg whites in the wrong way, else you are going to knock down the air trapped into this batter, and it will result to either a flat cake or a nonsense cake. At tip number 10, always preheat your oven before baking. So before you put in that cake that you want to bake into your oven, ensure that you preheat the oven. Sometimes you can preheat your oven at 180 degrees for 20 minutes or 200 degrees for 20 minutes before putting in whatever you want to bake in the oven. Tip number 11, use the right size of baking pan. This will ensure that you have a good yield and a fluffy cake at the end. If your cake recipe calls for an 8 inches pan and you use 10 inches pan, the cake is going to come out flat. It's not going to have a good yield or a good volume. And also, if your cake requires an 8 inches pan and use a 6 inches pan, the cake is going to may flare up or flow out of the pan, and you're not going to like the result of the cake at the end. The last but not the least, at tip number 12, always try to bake with the right temperature. You may want to go through the write-ups at this point in the video to understand your oven temperature conversions and how the temperatures work for each of the food you want to bake in your oven. Understanding your oven temperature is one of the very best ways to make the best cake, fluffy, moist. Anyhow you want your cake to come out, you need to understand the temperatures. I will advise you bake your cake at a medium temperature, like 150 degrees C, 160 degrees to 180. Anything above these temperatures will cause the cake to brown on the outside quickly while the inside has not cooked. So when next you want to bake, try and observe or put into considerations all these tips that I have given you guys, and believe me, you are going to have an amazing and fluffy cake. Thanks for watching, guys. I see you all in my next video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Bye bye.